Hello my people, it's about that time that I go through some video requests by you guys. I normally try to go through as many as I can. In fact, I think the majority of my videos I make are ones that are sent to me. Here's one where a Muslim attempts to logically prove Allah's existence. I'm gonna sound like a broken record here. Honestly, talking to religious people has gotten a bit redundant.
Bismillah. The most important questions that we should be thinking about as humans. Did we exist by chance? Is there a God? And where did we come from?
Okay, sure, those are questions that people could ask themselves, except for the did we exist by chance one. That one not really anyone thinks about until they really dwell within the debate between religion and atheism. In fact, when people learn about scientific explanations in which life came about, nobody really asks the question about chance. It only gets brought up when religious people claim that evolution is chance, which it's not, by the way.
It's either that we have came from nothing, or we created ourselves, or something else have created us.
Why must it be only those three possibilities? What about the possibility that we were created by natural means, by organic materials? Nothing intentionally created us. A problem I have with religious people is the way that they can't even seem to imagine all the possible scenarios. It's either this or that, while forgetting that there literally could be an infinite number of possibilities. This is especially the case for Pascal's wager, and it's the same thing here.
As far as whether we came from nothing, that violate the laws of physics and the law of conservation of energy.
The law of conservation of energy states that energy in an isolated system is conserved, or in other words, energy can be neither created nor destroyed. And if you honestly think the universe came from absolutely nothing, then that may seem like a problem now, wouldn't it? But that's not exactly the case here. See, the quote-unquote nothing that the universe came from may not actually be nothing after all. It's speculated that something was there that obviously wasn't matter that created the universe through a certain mechanism such as quantum tunneling. I won't get into too much detail since I am nowhere close to being a physicist. However, whether or not this process is known isn't relevant. What matters is that it isn't truly nothing that the universe popped out from.
Nothing comes from nothing, and something always comes from something else.
You are trying to use this to argue that God created us and the universe. But like I say to almost every other religious person I respond to, how does that lead you to the conclusion that it's your God? The title of your video is proving Allah's existence, but even if you somehow prove that the universe came from something else, that doesn't mean it's your God who created it. In fact, Christians use the same exact argument as you did just now. It's funny how it seems like you two religions are working together when this is the only part you can agree on. Let's say you defeated the atheist and you prove that the universe came from an intelligent being. What happens then? You and every other religion out there will be battling on whose God it is. That's what I want to see, because so far there hasn't really been much argumentation against other religions. Or in other words, there hasn't been much effort into proving why it's your particular God, and arguing against other religions could bring light to that subject.
Did we create ourselves? It's like that we saying that we exist and don't exist in the same time. Or it's like saying that our mothers have given birth to themselves.
Not really sure on who would even claim that the universe created itself. I mean, I can see why some people would say that, but I have yet to encounter anyone doing so. That argument would really depend on how you define universe. I'm sure no one cares, so let's move on.
Do you know that the age of our universe is 13 billion years? But the time it takes to create one simple human protein by chance, 634 million billion years.
I have heard this argument before, not a lot, but it's everywhere. Basically, the argument goes like this. They start off with the assumption that everything, according to evolution, is done by chance, so that includes the amino acids that build proteins. They claim that if we go with the style of rolling a dice or a lottery, and every time we get a random sequence of amino acids, how long would we have to keep rolling this lottery before we get a correct protein? And they calculated it to be some crazy number, much greater than 13.8 billion years old. Anyone who uses this argument ultimately demonstrates a lack of understanding on how the evolutionary process works. Imagine it this way, we are rolling a lottery, but every time a correct number shows up, it is there to stay, while we keep on re-rolling the other numbers until they are correct. All of a sudden, it doesn't seem like it's chance anymore, is it? And it wouldn't take too long now, would it? And this process that allows the numbers to stay is natural selection. I know you didn't mention evolution specifically here, but since that argument is used so much against evolution, I can only assume so.
That's the age of our universe multiplied by 45 millions. And you still think you came by chance?
Nobody claims that we came by chance, but what people do claim is that we came about through some essential natural processes that led to the universe and life to what it is today. It is you, religious people, who are strawmanning the atheist position by claiming we believe that we came by chance.
Do you know that human beings are made out of 18.5% carbon, 3.3% nitrogen, 9.5% hydrogen, and 65% oxygen?
Seems right to me.
For an average human being, that's about 14 gallons of water, 26 pounds of charcoal, and 3 pounds of air. If we pour all that in one bag, for how many years do we need to shake this bag to come up with a human being?
It doesn't work like that. You can't just put a bunch of things in a bag and shake it and expect a human to pop out of it. First of all, these things that you mentioned, water, coal, and air, they're not in the bonding conformation we need them to be to make up the molecules that cells depend on. These are raw materials. Carbon by itself can't be used directly by cells. Hydrogen and nitrogen in the air can't be used. We would need a way to convert those to the proper form before they can make up a cell. Second of all, even if we had those, it still wouldn't work. There's a specific structure that organizes these molecules to form cells. It's like your brain. Even if we get a whole bunch of live neurons and mix it together in a bag, we can't get a human brain because of how specific the neuronal connections are. Similarly, just because we have the correct atoms doesn't mean the structure can simply be built automatically. But what can happen is if life came about spontaneously and then under the guidance of evolution over billions of years get to the modern humans we have today.
And you still think you came by chance?
Fuck off.
With all the current technology that we have, we were not able to create a robot that is as perfect and as sophisticated as a human being.
Oh, what a claim. Not only do you fail to define sophisticated here, you also seem to be ignorant on how big technology and artificial intelligence has become. You know they're coming for our jobs, right? The robots? Soon they will take over all our jobs, and the only real way to reach a brighter future is through communism.
With all the technology that we have, we were not able to create a camera closer to the human eye, 576 pixels.
I think you meant megapixels, not pixels. And yeah, sure, if you compare humans to cameras in terms of pixels, the camera obviously loses. But let's say we compare a human and a computer in terms of their abilities to quickly perform math, like the ability to determine the standard deviation of a pool of 100 samples. Obviously, the computer would win. You cherry-picked the pixel comparison, just like how you're going to cherry-pick your next argument too.
With all the technology that we have, we were not able to create a heart closer to the human heart that could pump 7,200 liters of blood daily without any complications.
Are you saying that the human heart never has any complications? Are you listening to yourself? What about an atrial septic defect, where there's an opening between the two atria in the heart, allowing blood to flow backwards? Is this part of the heart never having any complications?
With all the technology that we have, we're not able to create kidneys that could work 24/7, filtering 180 liters of blood daily and cleaning human blood from toxins continuously.
We have dialysis, and comparing that to a human kidney for the amount of blood filtered per day is unfair. On dialysis, each session only lasts a few hours, while the kidney is filtering blood 24 hours per day. What you should really compare in this case is the rate at which blood is filtered. Let's go by your numbers and say that the kidneys filter 280 liters per day. After doing the conversion, that's about 194 milliliters per minute. Dialysis machines can be adjusted to around 200 to 250 milliliters per minute, and this can be changed to a wide range of speeds by the blood pump. You know, that spinny circle thing in the machine. Look, I wouldn't say that the machine is better than a kidney because it obviously isn't, but if you're going to do some comparisons, at least do your research first.
And you still think you came by chance? Or something else have created you?
If a god really did create us, he didn't do a very good job of it. There are so many flaws to the human body, I could go on and on about it, but that's a topic for another video.
A creator that once said, يا أيها الناس ضرب مثل فاستمعوا له إن الذين تدعون من دون الله لن يخلقوا ذبابا ولو اجتمعوا له. O people, listen to this example. You are not able to create one single fly?
Yeah, no, we're skipping that.
A creator that's all-powerful.
So powerful that he needs mortals like you to convince people that he exists.
A creator that's all-knowing.
So knowledgeable that he knows what it would take to convince atheists of his existence, but instead hires you to spew a bunch of poor arguments.
A creator that unlike his creation.
Yeah, not similar at all. One is real, the other isn't.
Allah, the Lord of Jesus, Moses, and Muhammad.
Yep, there it is, immediately jumping to your own god after all those arguments. I would love to hear your explanation on why it's specifically your god, but I don't think you'll even see this video.
If someone have given you $1 million, you be thankful for him for the rest of your life. But what about the one who have given you blessings that were worth millions?
Except he didn't give us anything really. What he did give us is an eternity in hell if you don't suck his dick. I don't know, man. I don't know if I could be thankful for that. Anyway, that seems to be the end of the video. I'm glad that's over. I really got tired towards the end there. It's been a while since I did a response to a Muslim, so that's why I did this video. I'm probably going to continue doing video requests by you guys, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you in the next video.